Hello, good evening, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again to the Overwatch Watchers Brawl Part 2. My name is Threepwood007. I am joined tonight by the Abiding Dude.
What's going on, Threepwood? How you doing tonight?
I am doing fan-diddly-tastic. How are you?
Hey man, I can't complain. I'm excited to see some good Overwatch tonight.
Always love seeing some awesome adrenaline-pumping Overwatch tonight. But before we get into this very exciting match between ZONK! Exclamation point, hope that was implied, and Reckless, we have a very special pre-game treat for you.
Yeah, we have with us tonight head coach of Reckless, Sin Fu Wu. How you doing tonight, Sin?
Hey, what's up, dude? I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, man. I can't complain. Excited to see this game get going. But before we get there, I just wanted to, ask you a little bit about Reckless. How long you guys been playing together?
I believe the team was formed before I joined, and I only recently started coaching, and they took their chances with me. So I've been with the team for about a month and a half, maybe two.
Okay, awesome. What kind of progress have you seen since you've taken over as head coach?
The team has been slowly developing for sure, and everyone on the team has like their own individual playstyle, which I want to try and mesh like together so we can play more as a unit. But as a team, I'm confident that we're good enough to compete at a tier 3 level at the very least.
And what are you guys hoping to gain out of the your experience in the Watchers OW?
I think honestly we just want to gain experience more in tournaments other than the open division, which is basically just a crucible for like top 500s, plats, diamonds. We want to play in a more like organized tournament.
Of course. Quick Play Plus only has so many advantages. What do you guys feel like as a team that you guys are really strong with, and what are some things that you may struggle with time to time?
As a team, we're really just like any other GOATS team. Like we play GOATS really well, but like on other team compositions we can kind of struggle unless we try and capitalize on one of our players' individual talents, which I can't leak anything because strats.
No, of course not. Yeah. And who should we expect to maybe see pop off tonight or really keep the momentum going for Reckless?
Pay attention a lot to the DPS players, Zem and Roasty. Those guys, I have pride in them. I'm really proud of their progress that they've made.
Awesome. Well, it's always good to hear a team is, meshing and getting betting on a daily basis. So hopefully tonight they look better than they did last time you guys played.
Yep. Hope so.
All right. Well, best of luck, man. And we'll see how everything gets going. But I think we're about to kick everything off here. So thanks for joining us, man. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, man. No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Best of luck.
All right. Peace.
And that was Sin from Reckless. We are going to get back into this game. We're almost ready to get started with our first map, which will be Hanamura. ZONK will be starting out on defense. Attack will be led by Reckless. So we had a bit from Reckless there, but we actually know quite a bit about ZONK.
Yeah, we do know quite a bit about ZONK. I've actually cast a couple games they played in the tournament last month for the Watchers Brawl. Their Rhine player, Night is pretty aggressive, and I know you play a lot of main tank as well as myself, so it's always fun to see a Ryan swinging that rocket hammer all day.
As main tanks, which are the handsomest and most attractive Overwatch players, and the smartest, I don't know if anyone knew that. Yeah, we do love...
Can't forget about all those attributes of us.
It's so hard keeping track of everything. Humility was the other one. But yeah, so ZONK is one of those teams that seems to enjoy playing the game, which is nice to see. Because it's a game. It's supposed to have fun. You're supposed to do this in your free time for fun time. And I know a lot of people turn a job out of it, but ZONK, in their little biography, not only wanted us to pay attention to why they are a team, aka players learning, connecting, and elevating their gameplay, but also their 13-step taxidermy process that results in the, quote, most lifelike stuffed owls.
Yeah, I'm always fascinated by how involved they are in the study of taxidermy. I've yet to see any of their galleries of stuffed animals, but I feel like one of these days I'm gonna see some stuff leak on Twitter, and I'm just gonna be nothing but impressed with their dedication to the art.
Oh yeah, as casters, we are, of course, forbidden from accepting favors, presents, and bribes from any one specific team. So it is without further ado that we turn ahead to this match on Hanamura. What a choke we're looking to see being defended by ZONK as they come out with a very, very attractive Zeniotes.
Yeah, it's gonna be traditional goats with, like you said, Zen made popular on this map specifically with Jonak just absolutely carrying on Zen. So we'll see if Whiplash can channel his inner Zonak and get his Swole Yada on, and then for Team Reckless, we do see a lot of sim on offense on this map because the teleporter plays a big part in it. But it looks like they'll be running Ryan, Zarya, Brig, and then they switch off to Zen. So it looks like a playoff goats with sim. So we'll see how this teleporter works for them.
I wonder, yeah, the teleporter, it depends on how quickly they can burst out that Rhine shield as the pick has begun, and there it is, teleports right to the point, really excellent play, they've managed to take it almost immediately, dominating that presence on the point, and kills now coming in for both sides with the kills stack up very much so in Reckless's favor, not really seeing the Reckless play, more like some very calculated cooldown placement. They're going to take point A with nary so much as that. How do you do?
Yeah, very useful effects of the teleporter there. They go right behind Zonk, take control of the point, take that that station where they need to be, and are able to just win the fight handily. They don't have any ults charged yet, but they are going to have some snowball potential because they're in a much better spot. They do have an Earth Shatter coming in here, and here they'll be coming in the left side off that teleporter again.
And here they go. It looks like they're going to try and probably take down that Reinhardt as quickly as possible. The Shatter goes in! It doesn't catch anyone, though. It looked like Brigitte may have gotten clipped out there, but she does survive, only to fall to the Rocket Hammer again. Reckless showing some very blitzkrieg strategy on this Hanamura map. It looks like they're going to take point B, popping that trans last minute as they, very definitive team fight, take the map with way too much time to spare.
That might be one of the fastest finishes on Hanamura I've ever seen. The trance at the end just for the lulz, knowing they're not going to get back on point. But wow, what a strong start here for Reckless, and Zonk definitely has their work cut out for them. A minute and 16 seconds comes off the total clock of the potential 8 minutes. That might be faster than anything I've ever seen because that was 2 fights, won very handily, very swiftly, with not much resistance either.
Very, very decent Overwatch coming out from Reckless. I guess, on the one hand, Zonk knows exactly what they need to do. They need to pull off a very similar blitzkrieg. Given that their defenses were completely obliterated in that first push, though, they could take their time on Hanamura, they could do what they need to do, make sure they have enough time left on the clock, and then come out with a different stall comp. Knowing that their Zenigos was handily bypassed by Symmetra, they'll probably take steps to correct that the next time around.
Yeah, we would hope so. So we're going to see, as of right now, it looks like they're going to be running a Sombra. Kind of a Sombra goats, basically, which would be pretty interesting to see if they can do any work on the back line. And it looks like Reckless is going to come out with a really, I hate to say cheesy, but it's a little cheesy. The Bastion bunker comp with Mei, and they're going to set up on that little high horse area with Orisa. The Mei wall on this map, it can be certain death for Night. So we'll see if it works once and fools them and they figure it out, or if it works a couple of times.
In the Witch's Cauldron of recipes that beat goats, Bastion, Mei, Pharah, Junkrat, they're all ingredients that you'll see on the list, and I don't think Reckless has any other any dispute with that.
And Sombra just does a little bit of scouting. They don't really pay too much attention to her. And D.Va also doing a little bit of scouting. So it doesn't look like we see any changes coming in from Zonk, but here comes their initial push now.
That means that Sombra went out there, saw that team comp related to their team, and they're comfortable. They're ready to go. The Maywall has already picked them off, however. Bastion now going to town. They're going to demech D.Va immediately. Nerd of Herds is going to get frozen, but Moira is a tenacious son of a gun, and they're going to get out of their life, but Ghost Pepper's not going to be so lucky. With one source of healing gone and their speed boost, this is a crippled Goats composition that's going to have to reset quick.
Yeah, Ghost Pepper catches the fiery breath from Roasty on Bastion, and that'll be the end of that push, especially with that early demech. I think they're probably going to have to, Zonk is probably going to have to maybe switch something up. Because I don't know if what they're running is, and there they do switch off. Nope. D.Va just getting her mech back. I apologize. But they're going to give this another shot and see if they can get anything going here.
So bonus points when you don't have a lot of ult charge on D.Va to begin with. You can re-change heroes and get that mech back super quickly. And there it is. It looks like Sombra's going to get revealed. They're going to start pulling the fight onto the point, but they are going to have to duck out, as the angle that they took was not sufficient to stay out of sight of that Bastion, who is set up very precariously on the edge there.
Yeah, Night Knight at a huge disadvantage here because he cannot withstand the amount of damage being pumped out between Bastion and Orisa into his shield. And again, there goes the fight over before it even really gets going. Pretty bad stagger there by Whiplash, who finally decides to take things into his own hands, and Jackson on D.Va will do the same, so he gets back into the fight a little quicker.
Some of those things we like seeing from dislodging this kind of bunker composition, and it looks like they're about to get the ults online necessary to make it happen, is that Sombra EMP, Whiplash's Graviton Surge, a little Shatter to make things fun, but it looks like Bastion is, yep, and there it is, EMP goes straight into the fight. What ults are they going to throw into this to make it happen? They need kills. Bastion is the first to go down. Excellent target priority. May follows, brilliant, but the barriers is going to come out and limit the rest of those kills. And with Orisa's major damage boosting ultimate coming out, that's going to be a lot of clapback coming back from Lectus.
Yep, Night Knight Shatter is blocked by Pone's shield, but then Pone does fall finally to Rhea's D.Va. It looks like things might be going Zonk's way here. Jackson is D-Max, and that should take care of that. Zonk finally able to break through the bunker and break on through to the other side, and we'll see if they can try to pick up some time here on point B. But again, as long as they capture here, they will have a chance to play a little bit more defense than we saw last round.
Oh yeah, wham bam, thank you ma'am. Zonk has made their mark, and they do have a couple ultimates coming online, a D.Va Bomb and a Barriers. You can make things happen with that, and it looks like they're going to be going straight to the point for a contest, but Geronimo is going to face the music. Wonder if they are planning on switching off, since that was more ballsy than I think we would have expected coming out from Zonk, but it looks like they are going to be pushing in with something straight into it, but that's going to be a Maywall and a Bastion ult. That Reinhardt is out of here.
Yeah, I'm a little confused by that push by Zonk. Geronimo goes in, and Pone immediately recognizes that he's there, drops down, and they just absolutely delete him. And instead of regrouping, they decide to push in anyway. They don't waste any ults, and they actually bait out Roasty's tank ult from Bastion. So that is one ult down, but they are going into Orisa's Mongos and May's Blizzard with just a beat drop on their end. They will have a D.Va Bomb coming up, but they're not anywhere close to a grab or an EMP. So this might just be a dry push, see if they can farm some more ult charge.
Yep, with a 4-minute plus time on the clock, Rekkles is definitely going to have to be settling in for the long haul. They're going to be staggering their ults now, trying to win fights with as minimum contribution as possible. Meanwhile, ZONK has to do their very best to force a very solid team fight victory, as Hanamura's spawn advantage is filthy.
Yeah, ZONK actually taking the low route, which I do like against what they're facing here. And we will actually see them try to invest some ults in here with the sound barrier.
But Jackson is the one who gets to pull the Poco out of nowhere, ripping apart a Lucio and the D.Va just as she was about to get back into mech. Rekkles is going to be taking this team fight back, and that's going to be Zonk heading straight back to the dugout.
And again, that's exactly why I thought we would see a dry push. They needlessly throw the sound barrier out there just to get bombed away by Jackson. We will see Doomfist coming out after they use the May Blizzard. But we do have a Shatter and a Coalescence online already with an EMP and a Grav here pretty soon. They might actually get it this fight. So we'll see if they invest some ults in.
Oof. But XCM out of nowhere with the Fists of Doom and Roasty 76. Again, that Bastion is just a sheer source of damage that has to be addressed before any push is going to make anything on this point.
Yeah, with the recent patches that came in about a week and a half ago, D.Va has less of a good, fun time going against Bastion, and Reyes is just going to be absolutely staggered in the worst way possible. This is just really unfortunate. Poor Reyes. Geronimo was able to take down Pone, but I don't think they'll be able to capitalize on that at all. But if they don't do anything about Roasty, they're going to have trouble getting in here. He does have a tank ready at his disposal again, but we will probably see, as long as Geronimo can survive, an EMP Grav coming out for this fight.
It's interesting, you normally see teams switching over to the Grav Junkrat combo at this point. Given how entrenched Rekkles is on this point, that's one of those things where especially the EMP can be really useful for making sure that there are no pesky ults will come out to down that particular combo, but really it's just going to be stagger after stagger, as Zonk can't seem to manage to get all of their players together in one cohesive location to get this fight rolling.
Yeah, Geronimo was in position and just stood there without being seen for about 4 seconds, and then invisibility only lasts so long and then is just, you know, killed. I'm not sure if the communication is not there. It doesn't seem like they're on the same page with their Sombra flanks, but they do have right now coming up EMP, Grav, and a Diva Bomb. So if they're going to make anything happen with a minute and a half left, this has to be their push. So Geronimo has to get in better position and be able to pull off a huge EMP here.
Yep. And here we see Zem up in the top right on that Widow perch, which was so commonly used in the early stages of the league. We have a Doomfist who is just waiting. They know they're going to come. Geronimo misses his jump! They're not able to get that EMP, and instead his Shatter goes into the backline. It's not going to catch anyone, but instead they're going to actually pick up the other characters as, oh no, a mech recall kills Zarya, and Reckless again takes another team fight. And now Zonk's incredible time pool has been limited down to a minute and less.
On the one hand, no ults get used for Zonk, but Geronimo with the big oof and just missing the jump completely, coming up about a meter short of the ledge there, and then it's just taken out immediately. It seems like as Geronimo goes, the rest of these pushes go, because he is getting picked off early and often. They have to make this work, or it will be round one going to Team Reckless.
Right, and at this point, the best they can actually hope for is a tie, as there is no way for Zonk to finish the map with time on the clock, which would be a prerequisite. And there goes the big EMP coming in, but no one's in position! They get taken out immediately, and the Shatter goes in. They're going to catch the Reinhardt and the Bastion, but Lucio wasn't there, and he gets the barriers off anyways. Now the counter Grav catches them all, but Roasty is in tank formation, and he is not stopped from shooting his projectiles. He's going to rip apart the remaining tanks. Big hammer down coming in. That's going to stop the rest of the members. We're going into overtime, but Zonk is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, the last hurrah from Reyes comes in, and the Diva Bomb actually gets stuck in the staircase, doesn't actually reach it down, and everyone is able to run away from it. Very confusing attack on second point there. It never looked like anything clicked, and that is how you lose the first map, by, you know, unable to coordinating those ults.
It's a difficult situation, and it's a wonder, you know, maybe the team isn't warmed up. Maybe they don't have their counter strategy worked out for this particular kind of bunker composition yet, but the fact remains to be here, and right now, that Reckless's defense was flawless. They weren't able to stop Zonk from taking point A, but they held out for over 4 minutes on point B.
Yeah, so complete steamroll there from Team Reckless. We'll see what happens here on second map. And I do believe that we will have our bans and picks coming in for the second map. So we'll see. I don't know, depending on the map, maybe they decide they don't want to deal with Bastion. We'll have to see, because they did have a very hard time dealing with Bastion there.
So, to remind all of our viewers, as we are still relatively early into the tournament, this is the situation where the winner first will choose to save one hero, and they will then ban a map from selection. Now, the map pool is of the particular sort where there are not a lot of maps in each particular category. So over the course of a match, a team could eliminate an entire game mode from play. However, after they ban a map and save one of their heroes, the losing team will then choose a hero to ban, and then they will pick the next map.
I'm actually a big fan of the hero ban system. Not on ladder, but in tournament play, I absolutely love it. It brings another level to the mind games, the quote-unquote chess, if you will, that happens before the game even gets going. You know, how does a team react if one of their strategies on a specific map gets completely taken away from them? What do we see with their ability to adjust on the fly?
It's a system that they have implemented in a number of esports games games that have taken off in the esports arena in the past, such as League of Legends, Dota 2, etc. And again, we are going to enjoy this particular feast here, but with this particular match situation, the hero ban only lasts for the map. The map bans last for the entire match.
And it looks like Reckless is going to save Anna, so they feel pretty confident in that sleep dart and the huge value that you can get out of that anti-nade, especially if you do run against goats. It just kind of shuts down any hard push immediately.
They are also going to ban Ilios from play, eliminating the possibility of a control point map from the pool, but that still leaves Busan and Lijiang Tower.
Yep, and it'll be interesting to see what Reckless comes out here with, not only the map pick, but what they do decide to ban. I'm sorry, what Zonk will decide to do, because obviously they just saw how strong Reckless can be with that bunker comp. I would imagine they want to avoid that. We might see maybe a King's Row with a ban on Orisa or Bastion to avoid that bunker comp. I mean, I'm interested to see how they take this approach.
Yeah, I don't honestly don't even know what hero you would ban in this situation. They clearly want that Ana gone. They clearly want to keep that Ana. But then that's a situation where what if you just take out the Lucio and then pick a hot goats map? That means you get to run goats all willy-nilly, emphasis on the hero bans only affecting the winning team, whereas the team that chooses the ban gets to take whatever they want. But it looks like ZONK is going to ban Doomfist and pick Lijiang Tower, which is a map that lends itself to a multitude of comps.
Yeah, very interesting ban. They must have a little more insight than I do on the comps that Reckless will run on control points. Maybe they know that they have a strong Doomfist in their pocket, and they just don't want to deal with it. But interesting pick nonetheless.
Oh yeah.
But we will be flying into Lijiang Tower here shorter. And thankfully, the teams are going to stay the same color, so easy work for me in 3 tonight.
Faux show. And again, this being a control point map, aside from the symmetry, or rather, which side is your right side for Lijiang Tower, it really, really, really doesn't matter. And so, again, we, the casters, thank the players, for not shifting over. But for now, again, we are going to Lijiang Tower. We are going to be seeing some very interesting play. And again, a reminder, Doomfist is banned only for Reckless. ZONK is perfectly capable.
Yeah, and we'll see how this plays out. You're not going to see that kind of bunker composition on control points at all. Typically, it doesn't work too much, but usually do see kind of some goats v goats happening. Maybe a little less on Lijiang, especially on this first map here. You do get a lot of really good fair play. Widow is very popular on this map with some of the high ground and the nice lanes you can get. But a lot of Lucio play on this map. I expect to see some Rhine Zarya, maybe and some Rhine Diva. We'll see. We'll see what happens here.
Also curious if we'll see some of that hamster wrecking ball action on the Hammond. This map being not super boop friendly as you would expect from the other Lijiang maps, but there is some boot potential, and Hammond is particularly nasty for a punchy, damage-focused composition.
Yeah, I actually love Hamster on this map because there is so many places that you would not expect him to just fly in from and get a huge pile driver. He gets a lot of value on control point maps because teams are typically completely together, and it leads for really big pile drivers with a big follow-up, say with like a Zarya with you, or even a Sombra, as we saw a lot in our last tournament.
Yeah, now for both teams, though, we are going to be looking at some fairly traditional comps. Actually, from Reckless, from Reckless, we're going to be seeing, there it is, there's the Lucio. Not the Moira, almost the most traditional of goats, but no Moira, so that's going to be a Zenny Goats. Wait, no, and we're getting a lot of picks, and what's it going to be? And it's Goats for everyone. Zenny Goats, perfect mirror comp from both sides.
And 3P Wood gets jebaited a little bit by Jackson, but then he goes back to the Diva.
Got me good, you son of a gun. Anyways, the teams are skipping the poke phase, going straight to the hammer swinging phase, and Night goes down immediately thanks to that Discord orb that got caught while he was swinging that hammer. And that's going to be Reckless taking almost full map control, ripping apart the Zenyatta and the Brigitte. No more heals, no more shields. They'll take this first point and start building some sick percentage.
Yeah, Brig, the master of 1v1s, is kind of out of her element when it's a 1v3, and Nerd of Herds gets completely separated from the rest of her team, gets isolated, and gets taken down pretty quickly, and that'll end that fight after her and Night do go down.
Ooh, but Ghost Pepper's Lucio's projectiles with their full damage hurtling towards the Lucio, or rather the Zenyatta, are going to pick them apart before they can get back behind that safe Reinhardt shield. No more Discords for Reckless. This is a great opportunity for ZONK to push in, it being a 6v5, and it looks like they're waiting for the signal. There it is, but unfortunately Ghost Pepper's going to get it, and now the Shatter comes in, and wham, bam, wham, slam! Pone goes crazy on the Reinhardt, swinging that rocket hammer for all he's worth.
Yeah, all sorts of onomatopoeias coming out after that huge shatter by Pone. We will see a rally online for Rosie for Team Reckless here. Nothing really coming up yet for Team Zonk, but they are pretty close to a chance at least to sustain a fight a little bit more. But Night getting picked off early in back-to-back fights, he is nowhere near a shatter. Pwn might have a second shatter before Night Knight gets his first.
Now, Whiplash's trans is going to come online probably within the next millisecond, and that is going to be a huge quantity of sustain, but jeez, Pwn with that Fire Strike! D.Va's new Defense Matrix cooldown, not able to stop it in time, and that's an incredible quantity of ult charge that Pwn is going to be generating. He might even have Shatter for this next fight, who knows, but Zem's certainly going to have Grav, and they are going to be popping it into this fight as it drops, and that's going to be a big team kill. 2 ults committed by Rekkles. All 6 members of ZONK are going to get popped out, but it looks like they're probably going to try and stagger Rems a bit, who's going to do their best to die, and there they give it to her.
Yep, and Pwn does indeed have his second shatter before Night Knight can get his first. You know, you hate to see it happen like this, but he's got to get some more value out of the Fire Strike, as you said. The whole purpose of Fire Strike is to build that shatter. Pwn's going to get a cheeky shatter here. Does get blocked by Geronimo, but they are cleaning up the kills pretty effortlessly here.
The Grav comes out into the trans, meaning that there's not going to be a lot happening there, but Rekkles played their cards right. They knew that they just had to keep them off the map before overtime could be triggered, and that was the case. We have a 0 to 100% for Rekkles. Off to a bad start for ZONK. They're going to have to do some turning around on this next Lijiang Tower map, which we see is going to be, the Boopcom Central.
Yeah, I would definitely expect to see Pharah maybe coming out at least on one side. And Geronimo immediately switches to Pharah. He's obviously listening into our comms. Roasty switches to Pharah on the other side, with Kotu going to be playing some Pharmacy, and we will see the Hamster coming out playing Roly-Poly on Zem. So looks like a triple tank kind of dive setup for Rekkles, and I'm very excited to see it.
I like that Pharmacy combo with it. Triple tank is usually accompanied by triple support or some other form, but instead they've got the Pharmacy, and it's just really nice to see. But on the other hand, we're going to see a very traditional 2-2-2. Not really divey, just the Lucio. Oh wow, that's going to be Night Knight getting booted so far off the map. His Fire Strike hit the bridge before he could get back on. That's a rough situation to be in, and again, no shields early in the fight means full map control to Rekkles with a single use of a cooldown.
Yeah, Zem goes in completely hamster ball deep. Right away with a huge pile driver on the bridge, and easy boot for Zhang Beast with Night Knight just floating in the air. Night Knight switches immediately off onto Winston, and we will see Nerd of Herds trying to pocket that Pharmacy, so we'll see a little bit of changes because his Rhine is just not working tonight.
Now, evidence of the fact, again, Pile Driver being so effective, Roasty76 doing some incredible work in that Pharah, but Zem already is about to get his mines. Really solid work, and Ghost Pepper on the Lucios, then going to clap back to Pwn, killing them with their boot. Again, no shields for one team means the option is there, and ZONK is now in prime position to go in at a 6v5 man advantage and build some solid ult percentage. But there's that Pile Drive in the background. Zem doing some sick crowd control, making sure that ZONK never has an advantage, and that's Roasty76's opportunity with that Mercy boosted rocket to make short work of ZONK's latest offensive.
Yeah, Zem is just doing exactly what Hamster's designed to do and be a complete disruption in the back line. Dives in very deep out of nowhere, out of unpredictable angles, boops everyone up in the air, and then Roasty is able to just spray him down while they're floating and immobile. Roasty does go down here, but we will see the res, and I would imagine we'll see a barrage come in after a dive.
And super sneaky Whiplash switching on to the Widowmaker. D.Va Bomb goes up into the sky. That's going to get nothing except a remech, which sometimes is all the work that it needs. Whiplash not able to take part in the fight on their Widowmaker. They're not going to be able to stop Roasty76 from starting off the barrage. They're not going to get anyone with the barrage, but Rekkles has won the fight quite wholeheartedly. And that's, again, rough.
Yeah, Geronimo gets nothing out of his barrage. Roasty still has barrage for them. We will see an Angry Monkey coming out on Pwn. And Zhang Beast will have some sound barriers to provide to sustain a little bit. Nothing but a D.Va Bomb coming up for Team ZONK, and maybe an ult for Winston. But I would expect to see a barrage from Roasty here pretty soon.
I have an assumption Night Knight is going to save that Winston rage for that sustain, but instead they're going to get bursts down as Jackson takes away their shield, and Roasty finally fires that barrage. They're going to demech the D.Va, whose defense matrix wasn't there for that barrage, but Pwn is also going to launch into their own primal rage and start sweeping away the individuals on ZONK from the point. It's only a Ghost Pepper left on the point. A Barriers is now out for Rekkles. It's overtime. It's not looking good for ZONK. Stall has to come out.
Yeah, and it looks like this one, again, going to be over sooner than later. This is just kind of stall tactics here, and the rest of the kills finally do come in on Jackson's D.Va Bomb. Tracer trying to get back to point with Geronimo, but that will do. There goes map number 2 in favor of Rekkles yet again.
And oof, it's a rough diva situation when you're doing the diva v diva, and instead of you being able to get back into map, not only do you get demeched, you then get baby gremlin to bits by an enemy diva's diva bomb. It's just so much diva, so much counterplay, and here we're gonna see one of Pode's really sick, nasty fire strikes, getting a massive ult percentage, just swinging right into it, charging into it. That's the kind of Reinhardt play that, again, when you have your team backing you and the ults are there and the aggression is there, but the support is also there, that means that Reinhardt is going to be the one who lives and keep their shields for their team.
Yeah, that's one of the things I love personally about playing Ryan. When you have a team supporting you, you can play so aggressive with no regard for anything and just keep swinging that hammer. The cleave on it is insane. And when you have a goats comp going straight ahead through a tiny little choke like that, your fire strike is going to get 40 to 50% on an ult as long as you throw it in through the whole team, which is what he was doing. You know, he's getting 4 to 5 procs on every fire strike, and he had an ultimate. He had a shatter at basically every fight.
Yeah, and speaking of ult economy, it's difficult to have, trade wars when one economy is doing so well that they manage to get 2 shatters in before anyone manages to even counter it with a shatter of their own. So that's going to have to be weighing heavily on ZONK's mind as they consider what Reckless is going to save and ban in terms of heroes or rather heroes and maps. They are in fact going to save Doomfist and they're going to ban Dorado. Very interesting choices there. That means they're probably going to be looking to, very much so a pun intended, punch this one through with a 3-0. ZONK is now going to have to pick a hero ban and select the next map, and hopefully maybe they'll turn this into a huge comeback victory, but that's going to all depend on their strategy for this next pick.
Yeah, the only option here on the way out right now for Zonk is the reverse sweep. Interesting to see them ban Doomfist last map and then Reckless immediately turn around and save Doomfist. So obviously, as we said, Zonk has a little more insight and scouting on Reckless than either one of us do if they are very aware of a strong Doomfist capability on Reckless. So I would expect to see some Doom come out. I don't think we saw Anna from Reckless last map, even after saving her. But they looks like they didn't very much need her.
Yeah, since the map choice did end up being Lijiang Tower, you get the advantage. And of course, the 2 maps that were chosen were the 2 maps that tended to favor that farmersy play. Even though they both went with goats to begin with, you got the Zenyatta goats to run, so you don't necessarily need the Ana. You get to take advantage of the Discord instead. Good map choice overall, not the best when the Ana ban is there. And it looks like ZONK is going to go with Route 66 and they're going to ban Zarya. Interesting choice.
I really like if you're struggling against goats, the ban on Zarya.
Ooh, yeah.
Goats can only go so far without a Lucio or a Zarya. The effectiveness of her personal barrier and her projected barrier is more value than most abilities in the game. Especially on Route 66, where there is a little bit of high ground for defense, so the bubbles really provide a lot of cover, especially if we do see a bunker comp come out from Reckless, which I would imagine seeing them on their defense here. And it looks like they are going to stay red. We don't know that yet, but they are going to be on defense. I would expect to see a similar type of bunker comp that we saw in Hanamura coming out here from Reckless, and we do actually switch up sides. So I get debated this time around. Reckless will be on blue. Zonk will be in red, playing defense first.
It wouldn't be a match if both casters weren't tripping over the player's very interesting actions. The advantage of going defense first has been discussed many times, but it seems to statistically favor the defending teams in terms of victory percentage. And I think what Reckless is going to be planning on doing here is, with the absence of their Zarya, they are going to be punching hard into ZONK's offense. And like it has been mentioned by the abiding dude, the dude who abides, Route 66 is definitely no stranger to some very nasty stalls.
Yeah, I think we could see one of two things here from our initial defense. They either play very, very far ahead and kind of just play on the cart, which we have seen a lot in the higher level play in the past 6 months since Goats became popular. With Zarya not being able to be played, we could again see the bunker comp kind of set up on top of the gas station right next to the big Earl sign, where we will see a lot of that.
Yeah, There's a lot of nasty potential for Dorado 2, or rather Dorado. That was the band map. Stupid caster was for Route 66. But again, Route 66 also has that advantage of not having a perfect choke. There are a lot of different ways to get around this first particular big arrow situation, and it looks like Reckless is going to start the map off by killing every single hero that they're probably not going to be playing, or possibly in a huge twist, they're going to be playing all those heroes. No, of course, they all switch. Yay, I was right the first time. And instead, it's going to be a triple tank with a Mei. Lucio Ana on the support, but boy, does this look nasty.
Yeah, we finally do see a team kill come out for Team Zonk before the map even gets started. But we will see the annoyingness of Mei putting those ice walls up. And we will see a traditional goats coming out on offense. This is going to be a really sneaky setup here in the first little tunnel, and like I said, they're going to engage here pretty fast and furious right out of the gate.
So this is disgusting because when the Mei wall is up, as long as you're within range, you get to contest the cart, which means Mei and Reinhardt can almost perpetually hold this particular cart. But there it is! They're going to start with the massive stall tactics. As long as you play your cooldowns correctly, this can be one of the most disgusting places to hold. It works actually on Dorado as well. Route 66 happens to be the other place. It's going to be up to Zonk to figure out how to break this hold.
And we do have Geronimo flanking behind with a Sombra, which Sombra actually works really well against this comp and the stall tactic. D.Va does get hacked, so we will have no defense mage coming in, and now the pincer attack will come in, and we'll see if they can get any kills coming through.
Ooh, and Lucio tries to slip in there, but once again, a Maywell blocks him up, and then the big EMP comes out, and that's going to be both. Rather, Night goes down, but Kotu's Ana not going to be able to provide the much-needed healing to keep this stall up. But Mei and Reinhardt just holding steady, and the cart cannot progress past this created choke.
Yeah, Geronimo farms an EMP really fast, and then jukes out the hook coming out from Roasty, but they're not able to capitalize on any of it. They're actually just still sitting in the same spot they've been for about a minute and a half now.
Big Shatter, however, goes back into the backline, and they're going to start racking up the kills as almost all the tanks for Reckless are going to... And there it is. All tanks from Reckless are down. ZONK is now pushing the payload past that very filthy choke point, and now it is a gate.
And Night does his best namesake and wishes a good night's sleep to everyone on Team Reckless. We will see Roasty switching over to Ash, so we'll see if he can get a Bob in for some more stall before this part of the phase of the map is over. Whiplash is all the way out of position and gonna get just absolutely deleted before this fight even starts.
Yeah, that's a nasty position to be in. You probably thought you had a little more time to work with, but instead, now Reckless is going to come in for another stall. They kept the Mei, who is very close to their ultimate, and they're going to contribute greatly to a DMEC on Rhea's D.Va. And, oh no! The Shatter goes right into a Mei wall! Bones! Shatter just completely blocked by their own Mei, and how many times have we all been there before?
Yeah, Zem and on Mei, just the queen of memes, completely blocks Pone's solo Shatter with the sole intent of killing a baby D.Va. It looks like Reckless is just, they're starting to feel pretty comfortable and maybe a little cocky with shattering a baby D.Va like that. So serves you right by getting blocked by your own teammate.
Now, to be fair, that would have been one of the most disgustingly filthy stalls in the history of Overwatch. Slamming a baby D.Va, that is just dirty. And instead, though, ZONK is going to take the advantage and switch over to a kind of sort of dive. They're still going to have two supports. They're still going to keep the Sombra, who has the EMP, and there it goes, it's popping out! And now the D.Va bomb comes in. Is it going to catch it? But yes! It gets the Ana and the Reinhardt. ZONK is stepping up to the plate. This is the match point for Reckless, so they're going to make sure that they do everything they can. Mei does get her ult out, but Barriers comes out for ZONK, and it's going to be difficult to kill anyone through that.
Yeah, huge ultimate by Ghost Pepper there to preserve that push, to get away from that Blizzard absolutely wiping everyone. Really nice D.Va bomb paired with that EMB. You like to see the bomb come out a little bit earlier than the EMP to get a little more value out of it. We'll see if Pone can contest. Bob is coming in. He almost gets body blocked by the wall, but it looks like he's actually in a pretty solid position to contest here and provide some supporting fire for Reckless.
One of the things that separates the pro Ashes from the Ashes that don't protect points is their ability to place Bob precisely. And Bob clips on just about any teeny tiny pixel, so it's super important to make sure that he hits everything. And that stalling was in. That's what was needed, and Reckless pulls off the stall of the century.
Yeah, really late contest simply by Pwn and Bob, and Bob single-handedly pwns the rest of Team Zonk.
Zonk definitely has the work cut out for him. Again, Reckless has match point here. All they need to do is push the payload, not even 80 meters, just slightly under that, and Zonk has to pull off the incredible duty of another 4-minute stall, but slightly better. So, viewers, as I want to call this in, there is an MVP vote going on in the Twitch chat. You can grab it through the link that Streamlabs is throwing up. Let us know who you think is the most valuable player of this match. Let your voice be heard. Let the casters know who they should be focusing on.
Yeah, and the win condition here for Reckless is simply to finish the first phase of this map.
Oh, yeah.
They get past Big Earl's gas station. That's a GG. And so we're going to see pretty traditional bunker comp coming out here from Zonk. Going to have Orisa Hog with that pulled port going on, and then Geronimo throwing the landmines in to get a lot of damage coming in. Interesting. We see Doomfist get protected, but it doesn't look like we're going to see him on at least this first engagement. We will, it looks like, see an interesting sort of pirate ship coming through for Reckless. You don't typically see a monkey and a hog. Actually, I get jebaited completely. They're going to run a solo tank. Nope. And again, just for the lulz, we do have a Orisa coming out with D.Va with the pirate ship along with the Torb, hammering away on that cart.
D.Va's mobility coupled with Orisa's just incredible ability to just pump out shields every 6 seconds means that it is going to be very difficult to dislodge Reckless from this point, but that's exactly what Zonk needs to do. And they've already started, however, but it's gonna be Reckless coming up with the kills. 3 kills from Roasty76. Mercy reverses one of them, but that's not looking good as Orisa is gonna be pulling them all into range for that Bastion. Roasty just going absolutely ham. This is like Overwatch before season and ladder started when Bastion was king and the king ruled, and that's going to be Reckless pushing this point to its conclusion with a single well-fought team fight. Whiplash coming in for a last-minute stall there. Dodgy little Widowmaker.
Yep, the map over before anyone is even able to get ultimates. One of the quicker matches we've seen. Hats off to Zonk for going up against a team that, as far as SR difference, we're looking at about 1,500 SR difference between the two teams. So again, hats off to Zonk for getting in there and doing what they could. They should feel good about being able to take A on Hanamura, and some huge plays in here by Night in this little tunnel here to get him some big kills.
Yeah, it's a super difficult situation to go up against a stall like that. You have the Mei wall, you have the Reinhardt, you have the Mei blocking a little teeny tiny choke with another one of her abilities, which really is that really possible. And then yes, it is. So you get the advantage of learning about compositions like that, and then you get the advantage of being able to say, yeah, no, we broke that. No, we didn't. Look, we only took the map so far, but nah, we got through that.
Yeah, and again, Zonk should feel nothing but good about some of the progress they made as a team. As we talked in the beginning of the interview with Sinfu Wu, he said they're working on getting better every day, and I'm sure they're going to be able to go back to the drawing board and see what worked for them and what they struggled against, and hopefully come next match a little more prepared to see similar types of things.
Of course, as a general reminder, this is a losers bracket tournament, which means we have not seen the end of Zonk. Oh no, they will return. They are going to face an as yet determined, unfortunate loser from the next match to be played tomorrow night at 9 p.m. And they will again have a chance to make their great comeback story. But for now, we are going to see a post-game interview, and it looks like we are going to be interviewing Pwn or Pone. They are going to correct us the minute that we introduce them. But ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome the voted star from Reckless to the stage.
Hola.
First, please tell us how to pronounce your handle.
Oh, it's pronounced Pwn.
Pwn! I only effed that up so many different times. How are you feeling after this match?
That was really fun, actually. Like, actually really fun.
So, did your how was practicing that Dorado? I said do it again. Route 66. How was practicing that Route 66 stall?
The Route 66 stall is so fun to like practice. Like every time we play Route, we practice that strat. So it's not like we just whipped it out randomly. And just we have it pretty perfected down. Like we have GM teams that we'll scrim against and that we full health with it. So we pretty much like have it down.
It definitely showed. I also have one more question about the Route 66 game. What was the immediate thought that went through your brain when you dropped that shatter down, but the Mei wall went up?
I was trying to stagger the Diva, but my Mei walled my shatter off, and that's happened at least 30 times whenever we run Mei comps. Yeah.
I feel you. I feel you. As a fellow main tank player, I definitely feel you. So going into this match, you know, you guys had a pretty solid match against ZONK, and the matches were played out pretty well. What are your thoughts for the rest of the tournament?
Rest of the tournament, I mean, I don't know who the other teams are really. I'm kind of like new to like all this stuff, so I'm just looking forward to like playing teams and stuff and getting like my mind off like ranked and stuff. Just playing and having fun.
It was mentioned that your team wanted to do more tournaments like this. What other matches are you guys looking for? Are you guys thinking about open?
We played an open. We went 7-3, I think. Or yeah, we went 7-3. But other than that, like open, we didn't get trials, but we still had fun and we did like our best. And we're still just like chilling.
Well, that's super good to hear. So one last question before we turn this over. What is your favorite hero to play other than Reinhardt?
Well, I'd have to say either Mei or Sombra if I'm like playing like a DPS role, because I love using utility in Overwatch mainly. Like besides like aiming heroes, like utility is so fucking like nice to use, I'd say.
Oh yeah, and those heroes also have a lot of great counterplay. So thank you so much for joining us, Pone. It has been a glory interviewing you and watching Reckless take the stage and beat ZONK and go on to the next match. We look forward to seeing more in the future.
Thank you, man.
So this has been the Overwatch Watchers Brawl match between Reckless and ZONK. ZONK down to the losers bracket, Reckless onwards to their next match. This has been 3.007.
And coming off with another late night, this has been The Dude Abides. Look forward to a lot of more quality Overwatch and get back in here with the 3P.
Love casting with my man, the Dude Abides. Want to shout out to Zem, who has won the Viewer's Choice MVP. Really solid play coming out from them despite some particular... Anyways, so we're going to love seeing Reckless and ZONK again. You can find me at 3.007 on Twitter and Twitch.
And you can find me on Twitter at thedudeabides_B.
Thanks for joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you all tomorrow night at 9 p.m.